Hello. So you're thinking about getting some genetic testing done, so you've got some insight as to how your body's going to handle certain pharmaceuticals or nutrition. There are a lot of avenues open. There are a lot of direct-to-consumer testing options available, but I would definitely caution you to use, even though it usually costs a little bit more, to use a physician-directed genetic testing. For one thing, there's going to be privacy because it is going to be, you're going to have the protection of HIPAA, the privacy, the medical privacy, and it's going to be enduring. Where even if one of the direct-to-consumer labs or direct-to-consumer testing places has a reasonable amount of privacy and security in their current terms, they can change those terms at any time. It's not really a medical product, and they're not bound to keep anything other than what they admit that they're going to do. So they can change that at any time, and they don't have to keep the privacy at the level that you bought in at, even though they've already got your genetic information. So for one thing, your privacy, and you don't want your genetic information and details about who you are and your susceptibility just to be floating around available for anyone to be able to gather at a later point. Another thing is that the accuracy of the genetic test is going to depend on if the lab that is evaluating it is testing for specific variants. There are some heritages that are more susceptible to having specific mutations, and if they aren't common in the area that the lab is centered out of, then they are less likely to be included on that. Also, there are a lot of the genetic information that's out there is based on European descent. There is a lot of effort right now to get this to be updated, but still there's going to be regions that tend to have specific types of variations, and that is where they're going to be most prevalent, where those test results would have more prevalent results. Also, your direct-to-consumer is more likely than not to have fewer of the potential variants available. There might be one variant that has, say, 5 or 6 different nucleotide variations within that, and if that lab isn't testing for all the different variations of that, if they're only testing the top 10, you might get a false positive for having a specific type of result, and this can lead to prescribing incorrect medication or interpreting your susceptibilities differently. Direct-to-consumer tests also cannot diagnose anything. So if you're wanting to get insight on a diagnosis, you'll definitely want to go the physician route. There is a lot more certainty and a lot more privacy when you do the physician-directed testing. Also, a lot of the reason that they're a little bit more expensive, or rather that a direct-to-consumer is less expensive, one, they aren't bound to the same level of scrutiny, the DNA or the FDA requirements and the privacy requirements, but also they are making additional funds when they sell your information. So the tests that are CLIA labs and they're ordered through your physician, those aren't going to be selling your information. So there's a lot more certainty and a lot more privacy with the physician directed. Also, they can give you more specific results because you have a physician there to interpret them. Now, the direct-to-consumer testing, there is some oversight. It's minimal, but there's some oversight. And some of the rules around them being able to do it is that they're going to be able to give it to anyone in the public, and they can use that information. They're going to have all of the counseling that they need just within the results and the little blurb that comes out with that. So you're going to have a lot more specific information tailored to you and how it's useful to you if you are doing a physician-directed test. So I definitely recommend that. In fact, a lot of the direct-to-consumer will have a little disclosure that it's for entertainment uses only. So I can't say for sure that all of them will have that, but a lot of them do, because it relieves them of liability and it lowers the threshold of the information that they're providing to you. So if you have any other questions about this, go ahead and drop me a link. I am Denise Clark. I have a master's in pharmacogenomics, and I am here to educate you. So let me know what your questions are, and I'll be uploading another video soon. Thanks.